Gillie da Kid finally speaks out about his son being targeted. Wallo's in tears at the funeral. To find out what happened, watch this whole video and subscribe to the channel. So Gillie da Kid and the pallbearers and Wallo had to carry YNG Cheese into the funeral, and then that's when Gillie da Kid goes up on the stage to address everybody. He sent a message to the whole city of Philadelphia about his son's targeted shooting and how to prevent this, and what the community could do to bounce back. Basically, young Cheese, Gillie da Kid's son, he was out in the hood in Olney in Philadelphia, and basically, there's frequent videos where you could see him hanging out by the sidewalk, standing out in the street with his buddies. Sometimes they're freestyling, sometimes they're joking around or looking around, maybe even drinking, eating food, whatever it is, right? And basically, somebody has seen them and knew that they were standing there and they were a sitting duck. So when the suspicious car drove by and the dude rolled a window out and he stuck out his hand, he had the burner on him. And once he verified that that was Young Cheese, he went ahead, pulled and peeled out and left. And this is what we are left with to deal with the consequences. 3 people get hit up, and YNG Cheese, he wasn't trying to, he wasn't trying to do anything as far as he wasn't trying to beef. He wasn't trying to make a big scene to have people get after him or anything like that. So it's still something that they're trying to figure out what the motive was behind the whole situation. If it was a robbery gone wrong, and they're trying to figure out if Young Cheese and any of his friends were involved in any type of street activities. Were they trapping? Were they slanging anything? Is that the reason why they were targeted and somebody will want to do this to them? Because if you really look at it, you got to look at the fact that, yeah, they're up-and-coming rappers. Of course, there's going to be a lot of people who are jealous of them because, they want to make it out of Philly. Maybe it's other rappers who got passed up by them. They could be jealous. They could be angry. They got to go and look at the last 5 people that it's known that Young Cheese might have had a problem with, because then it could give you the answers on if there was any people who were trying to get revenge or somebody who was jealous and were trying to take him out because of the envy and the greed. People got to understand that this type of thing happens all the time where, somebody who's a rapper or a celebrity or I guess one of their family members, they go back to the hood, they go back to their stomping grounds, and they don't have the security with them, and they stay there for too long. And once they're there, people who are driving around, they can see them, so they start messaging and calling other people and telling them, I just seen him, he's right there, go get him. And so at that moment, if somebody has the big chain on, and let's just say someone's down on their luck and they just happen to go by and see that Young Cheese had the big chain on, right? Then they could hit up one of their people who do the dirty work for them and be like, yeah, man, we broke, we need this money. This dude is standing out here doing nothing with this big old chain on, and he's acting like he's way too comfortable over here. So they pulled up on him and were really trying to hit a lick because they know for a fact that he was the person who might be able to give it up without any kind of fight, because they know he's got money and his dad got money and everything. All of that, the jewelry, the chains, all the material stuff, it could be replaced. But the one thing that can't be replaced is your life. And this is why, when anytime somebody's going out wearing the chains and everything like that, you got to take into account that if somebody tries to rob you for that, you're going to have to basically make a decision on whether you're going to give it up or whether you're going to have to battle it out and duke it out with them. And, 9 times out of 10, they're ready to take it just as much as you're ready to fight for it. And so it's really going to be who pulls first in those type of situations. And they had the drop on Young Cheese. They had the quick draw on him. They already had everything ready to go. They had the Basically, they had the straps in their hand. They walked up on dude. As soon as they rolled the window down, they pulled up close to the curb and they yelled his name. He turned around, and that's when they got to blasting. Dude tried to get out and take his chain too, because it was reported that in the inventory he did not have they did not have the chain inside of his evidence bag. So that means the people that hit him up, they jumped out the car and took the chain off Young Cheese. And, you know, until we get the actual footage of the store that they were in front of, if there's any of the apartments over there with the Ring doorbell cameras or the window cameras or any type of surveillance like that, then they're going to catch these dudes in the act. Like, they could zoom in, get the license plate, they could zoom in through the window and actually look through the window, because they had the tinted side windows, but the front windshield was not tinted. So at some point when they making that left turn to get on the block, that street camera right there, that red light traffic camera, if it's a live feed, they could go back and zoom in and get a good look through the front windshield of who it is that was driving the getaway car. The person that did all the dumping there were in the back seat. The guy with the strap was in the back seat. That's why they lowered the window down, so that the person in the back seat, they were the ones who were direct view access in front of Young Cheese and the other two people that was with him, man. And as soon as the shots went off, you see the birds start flying, the pigeons start flying everywhere, and because the loud noise had frightened them. And you see the two dudes with Young Cheese trying to run away, and one of them, he runs off into the little in between those townhomes. You know how in Philly, in New York, they got those brick houses that look like they just on a regular hood street, and they all really, really close to each other. He ran in between one in the little alley, like the little breezeway, and his other buddy, he got hit and he was limping. He tried to go hide behind the trash cans that was outside on the sidewalk. But Young Cheese, as soon as he hit, he was turning his head around trying to run away, but he got hit up in the back and he instantly dropped down. And that's when you don't even see him move after that. After the guys take off in the getaway car and they make a right and you can hear the tires squealing and everything, the dude who jumped behind the trash can and the guy who went into the breezeway, they came back out yelling, "Young Cheese, get up, Cheese, get up, Cheese, you all right?" And they're like, "Cheese is hit, Cheese is hit, Cheese is hit. Call Gilly, call Wallo, man. Get the ambulance here, get the ambulance here." And so this is when everything was going down, and the people who were like looking out their window, people started walking outside that lived in the area only. After they heard the whole thing going down and seeing the two people getting hit up, they walked outside and started surrounding the people who was waiting for the whole ambulance and everything to show up. Then they looked down at the kid and they're like, "Why they keep saying Young Cheese? Isn't Young Cheese Gillie da Kid's son?" And that's when everybody found out that it was Gillie da Kid's son who got hit up. And people who was close to Wallo, they started crying. They started calling the family and everything like, "Yeah, you got to get down here right now, man. They're about to take him to the hospital and everything." And so that's when Gillie da Kid and Wallo rushed to the hospital to try to meet with them and meet the truck there so that they could see exactly what was happening and like they could be right there with him by the side. But it was too late by that moment, man. And we want to send the condolences out to Gillie da Kid, Wallo, everybody for $1 million worth of game and everything, because this is a sad, sad situation, man. Like this could have been easily avoided if Gillie da Kid and Young Cheese just stuck together. Like if Young Cheese would have just been hanging out with Gilly instead of going and doing his own thing and stuff. And he's a 25-year-old man, so Gilly can't really tell him what to do, or nobody could really tell him what to do. But at the end of the day, man, he was out there. He made his own choices on where he wanted to go, and we don't know for sure if he wanted to actually go to that neighborhood or if it was the people that was with him took him there, or if it was supposed to be like a quick stop real quick just to grab something. It could have been as simple as that, but all we know is that it's definitely somebody who was waiting for him in that spot, man. Once they seen him pull up and they confirmed and verified it was him, it almost seemed as if the people who was like were just waiting right around the corner before they turned the corner and actually pulled up on him and started letting off, man, because they had to have already been prepared. They had to have been there, almost like waiting for the fact that they knew a rapper was gonna come around and everything. Because how is it that if it was just somebody that seen him and they called the ops and told the ops to come, it would have took a little bit longer than that. They might not have been completely prepared, but somebody already knew that they were going to be bringing him to this spot like days in advance, and they had time to like plot it all out. So they were waiting around the corner until Young Cheese and his friend showed up. And what they like to do normally is with no security, they like to stand outside between the curb and the sidewalk where the cars driving by have easy access. They could throw something at them, they could yell at them and all that. And so this is also just like a bad choice of where they were hanging out. They could have been hanging out inside somebody's crib and it would have been totally different. So if they would have just went inside the house or went inside somebody's apartment or something like that, then Young Cheese would still be here. And so this is why everybody's asking the questions and trying to figure out, what was he doing there? Was he there visiting somebody that lived there? Were they supposed to go inside somewhere? Or did somebody just bring him there to literally hang out outside on the street? And everybody says they want to be outside and all this stuff, like as if being outside makes you, more this or more that, right? Because everyone wants to act like they extra hood. Everyone want to be seen as being outside, and being outside means you're getting lit, you're going out, you're going to the parties, or you might just be like in the mix in the streets and stuff like that. And so they were literally standing outside because they wanted to be outside, and somebody came by and seen them that they were standing out there with no security, and they knew that that was the opportunity for them to hit them up. And this is a sad situation, man. And if you really open your eyes and look at this, you will know for a fact that if they would have just went inside the building to somebody's apartment, or if he would have just been hanging out with Gilly, or if he would have had security with him, this all could have been avoided. Let me know what y'all think.